Oh, need to get Adam because hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of the GuN Ramblecast. This week we're talking shooters. Adam, what's that above your head? Adam, what's that above you? Oh, what? Did you see something there?
I did.
Oh, but yes, welcome everybody. This week we're talking one of the greatest shoot 'em up, shooty shoot bang bang games of all time. That's right, it's Goldeneye 64, one of the 90s greatest media properties. Because yeah, like this was a movie game which historically does not go down too well with the gamers.
No.
But somehow they decided to take a Pierce Brosnan movie and just be like, how about we make a really cool video game that takes scenes from the movie and just kind of increases them in scope? Like,
yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not sure if I would have watched Pierce Brosnan slowly crouch around the toilets for like upwards of 10 minutes. Possibly.
Yeah, well, it's debatable. I don't know. Now that it's in a game form, you want to watch it, don't you? So it's
yeah. Like... Oh, Satin in the chat saying, Franklin James. Franklin Adam. It's me. It's Sean Bean.
Sean Bean or Sean Bourne, whichever you prefer.
Oh, bastard.
Imagine if he said that in Goldeneye.
He probably did right before he exploded in the facility.
Right. Bastard.
That was basically his turning point where he's like, that James Bond's a bastard, like.
Or like he was, or it was in the script where he put it in the script and then they took it out and he was.
I've heard he always does that, you know, like he takes a script and he's like, some room for some bastards here. He's just got this little bastard pen. It's really good at drawing bees.
Aye.
But anyway, we're actually talking about an N64 game developed by Rare, who were one of the greats of the 90s, especially on the N64. Definitely. But when we decided we were going to do this, I had to put our background as the toilets on the facility because it's arguably the most iconic video game level intro of all time.
Yeah.
Where you basically you start as Pierce Brosnan crammed into an air vent above the toilets in some kind of like, I don't know. Are we in Russia? Is all of Goldeneye in Russia?
I don't know.
For Russia, James.
For Russia, James. No.
But yeah, like it's pretty brutal because you can shoot that guy's hat off and then shoot him in the back of the head while he was just standing at the toilet.
Yeah, it's a bit unfair to him, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, I think as well he should have noticed when someone shot his hat off with a pistol.
Yeah.
But instead he just stands there. Unless he was thinking, like, if I don't move, they can't hit me again.
Or he just thought he was, like, hallucinating or something, or he had a bad night on the vodka before. Like, you know.
But, like,
that headache.
Because this is a N64 as well. Like when we say this, they're standing in the toilet doing nothing, they literally are, because they didn't program in PP.
Yes, they're just standing.
Duke Nukem had PP, but 3D PP technology, I don't think happened until Metal Gear Solid 2.
It's sort of Duke Nukem would have been like sort of like a rectangle like coming out, wouldn't it? Like...
that's better. Pew, 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 pew.
In Metal Gear Solid, it had like steam coming off it and stuff, didn't it?
It did. It went on your head and everything, and you could look directly into it. Get an eyeful.
One for the fetish people.
But yeah, like, what's your first like GoldenEye memory that like jumps to mind as soon as you see some of these screenshots?
Right. First memory was my brother got it.
Yeah.
And we were sharing a N64 at the time. So he got his mates around to play it.
Oh yeah.
There was like a lad called Paul and a lad called Chris, and they had control. So we used to do the 4-player split screen.
Oh, you had enough friends to for
Yeah,
everyone to bring the controllers.
and it was like I had no clue what was going on when I first played it. I was like, this is insane. Like I remember, like my brother and his mates were like really good at it, like instantly. I don't know why, but like it was just really fun. I remember never having a bad time on it. It was always like really like competitive when we were doing the
Yeah.
split screen, but there was never any like anyone kicking off because they were getting beat. It was just really fun to get shot to bits on it.
Yeah, yeah, and like when you're saying like you weren't good at it, it was probably because like there hadn't really been a shooter like this.
No.
Definitely not on the N64.
No.
There might have been certain other ones, but there were more. I can't remember if Duke Nukem 3D had already came out before GoldenEye.
What year was GoldenEye? Was it 97 or 98?
I feel like it's a 7. I feel like it's a 97 one.
So when you think I was 10 at the time.
Yeah.
So
this would have blown your mind, like what I can walk around and open all the toilet doors.
The only games I'd played before this were like your likes of Sonic and Mario and Streets of Rage.
And
stuff like that.
And Saturn Kage in the chat saying like this is giving him nostalgia for his dad hiding in the toilet with the Moonraker laser, ready to shoot him through the doors. Because like there was some weapons where it had like bullet penetration, like certain ones, like but yeah, like the I don't know, it's just these toilets are so iconic, and I know it's because we were all dumb kids who just like were like, oh, it's funny that we're having a gunfight in the toilet. And I mean, if you were smart, you could do stuff like put mines in the toilet, and like so when someone was coming to check like all the doors, you'd be like, ah. Or put proximity mines in there.
Oh man, it was so good. Like,
but yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I ever got to do the 4-player split screen. I think like 2 was the max I could pull together.
Yeah. But me and my brother used to play it as like a 2-player split screen, like when his friends weren't there. But it was always good when we could get the 4 of us together. Because
Did you have to outlaw screen watching? Like.
Yeah, it was banned definitely, but I used to do it anyway because. My brain could do both, watch my screen and the other screen as well. Because I've got a lazy eye. I actually did when I was younger, so yeah.
Then it somehow gave you an advantage.
Yep, because I was looking in 2 directions at once.
The multiplayer was weird because it did, like the person who owned the game was at an advantage.
Yeah.
Because all the weapons were like in the same spot normally. I think you could sometimes change like weapon sets. Like you could be like, oh no, like you could do like no explosives or like all explosives. Mm-hmm. But like if you knew where to run and to get something crazy before anyone else, then you could just come back with like the friggin' RCP 90 or like the AK-47s like dual wielding.
You could get a Deagle on there, couldn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because this all had fake gun names.
Yeah.
So like this would have been my first, because obviously video games are stupid and they teach us real gun names, and then later on when you're older, you realize that the gun manufacturers are licenses. So Call of Duty has to pay the gun manufacturers to have the correct like names.
There's some of them even on the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They still don't have the licenses for some of the guns.
Yeah, which I think is for the best, because like who wants to pay those guys? But this one had like, I can remember like all of them, because like the old James Bond, they couldn't even have the Walther PPK. It was just called the PP7 in this. So like when I was growing up, that was James Bond's gun.
The PP poopy, yeah.
Yeah, the PP poo poo man gun. That's Pierce Brosnan for you. Right. All the scoops on the Ramblecast. But yes, the Desert Eagle was called the DD4 Destroyer, I believe. Or the DD44 Destroyer, something like that.
That rings a bell.
And then, like I say, there was the RCP-90, which was just a P90. There was, I can't remember what the AK-47 was called. The Soviet was the AK-47.
I think
sorry.
so. Yes, yeah, Soviet. Wow.
And there was the Klob, which which was named after one of the developers, Ken Lobb.
And it had that weird like scaffolding on the top of it.
Yeah,
It's like I don't know whether that was a foldable stock or whatever, but like
I think
it had like a weird like rails on it.
Yeah, I never liked it because it sounded like a little man doing a tap dance. It was like it just sounded weak, but I feel like double clobs was probably not.
Yeah, dual wheel club.
But then there was like some guns that sounded crazy, so like I definitely want to use the ones that sounded more like you know the.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice snap to it.
And the sniper rifle always looked weird. It had like a super soaker like barrel on the side.
It was like a Nerf gun and a super soaker mixed together. It was weird.
Yeah, and like because it was silenced, it was like peep, peep. Whenever you were shooting,
it's funny when you're seeing this. Like it just like brings back like memories of actually hearing it when I'm playing it.
Yeah, like because like we had you record the intro for this, and it was like the guitar cover of the Frigate like theme, because like this game still had like bespoke music for every stage, pretty much. Maybe not like actually no, I think even like the ones like the Aztec that you could only get on if you're on like 00 Agent, I'm sure everyone had like a bespoke music.
Well, I looked at the length of the soundtrack and it's over an hour.
Yeah.
So there was obviously a good amount of tracks on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like people put like work into those. And I guess it was so you didn't get bored when you were wandering around the levels, because it was a bit like you could get lost. Like it wasn't just a corridor half the time. Sometimes it was just a big open map.
Yeah.
There's even that one where it's like, is it just called The Streets, where you're in that tank and you've got like 5 or 10 minutes to get somewhere, and it's like, I better go.
Get out the street, apparently.
But like when I was a kid, like that level felt massive, but it probably isn't if you like looked at a map of it. But I think because you were in a hurry, you never got to like explore every side avenue.
Yeah. There probably wasn't anything there, to be honest, but it was just the fact that you thought you might be able to go there if you got the chance.
The tank was a nice surprise.
Yes.
Which that's what I was meaning when I was saying it was like scenes from the movie, but then because you were playing it and they developed it, you could add extra stuff. Because there's the part in the movie where he runs down the runway and then jumps in that plane.
Yeah.
In the video game version, you can run to the right and get a tank first, and just slowly drive the tank down the runway, squishing guys. Yeah. And it used to probably make a horrible noise, didn't it, when you squished them?
Oh no!
It'd just be like, because like, so in modern shooters, like the guys kind of just jerk around and then like die, I guess.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're still shooting you. In this game, most of the time when you shot someone, they would stop dead in the tracks and like react on the body to where you'd hit them.
Like,
so you could like you could shoot people in the arm and they'd be like, oh. So it made for some like sadistic moments where you were a kid just feeling like, I'm gonna shoot your arms and legs, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, like, no.
You could definitely shoot them in the butt as well, and they would do a little jump.
Oh yeah, definitely used to do that. I remember.
Oh yeah, Joe's in the chat saying like, and shoot the hat off. Yes, many hats lost their lives in GoldenEye 64 when you had the Soviet blasting everywhere.
Definitely.
But it was kind of like, when you think about it, it was kind of gruesome, because like it would leave like a blood patch on them as well. So if you were really quick, you could fill someone up with bullets and it would look pretty bloody.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so it's not very like the movie in that respect.
No, but when you're saying about never thought they would make a Pierce Brosnan movie into a game. Imagine if they made Mrs. Doubtfire the game.
Well, back then or now?
Either.
Because I'm imagining like really bad controlling like N64 Mrs. Doubtfire.
Help is on me.
It's got a drive-by fruiting special move.
Mamma Mia the game.
No, I'm not playing that. No. Unless it's like No Mercy and you wander around the island talking to like the people doing this. Yeah. Flat faces. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Mrs. Doubtfire could be good in like a fighting game because she had a mean right hook.
Oh yeah, and totally unexpected, like yeah.
Like handbag attacks. But yeah, to be honest, as a kid, this was probably the first time I'd even seen Pierce Brosnan was in this game when the camera rotates around his head and then you go inside the back of his head, like at the start of every level.
Oh yeah, that was weird, very trippy. Yeah. Never thought anything of it at the time, but then now when you look back, it's like.
Oh well, how could you know that it was a first-person game unless the camera entered into your character's head?
Yeah. It's an odd one.
You just imagine like Pierce Brosnan standing there quietly at the start of his level and something forces its way into the back of his head. I'm a child now. Oh no, he's making me shoot the toilet.
Yeah, I would do weird things where I would like shoot smiley faces in, and like because it used to stay, the bullet hole used to stay on the floor for a while, didn't it?
It would yeah. I can't remember what the time was on it, but I know that if you shot like too many bullet holes, it would take away like the least recent one. So like if you try to do a circle, it would like slowly follow itself. But yeah,
sure I got my name down on the floor once.
Us with the 4-letter names are at an advantage on that.
Yes.
Also, did you like to play with the paintball mode on as well?
Yes. That was fun.
It didn't make the bullets any less lethal.
No, it just made them colourful and nice.
Oh, look, rainbows. You gunned down the Russian army.
He's dead now.
But yeah, I definitely remember really liking the remote mines like in this game because I feel like it was the first game where you could really like play around with physics in a way.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really have much of a physics engine. You could like throw grenades and they would bounce around and stuff like that.
Yeah, it wasn't anything massively like. I mean, for the time, yeah, it was great, but like.
Yeah, but not like it wasn't like now where you would like, shoot up a room and stuff will like fly off shelves and things like that. Yeah, but you could like blow up all the computers and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, like as I say, the walls couldn't get damage or anything like that. There'd be like blast marks off like a grenade or whatever. But yeah, for the time it's in 1997, like it was pretty far ahead for a shooter game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they didn't need to do any of that. I think it was just at a time when game developers enjoyed putting like extra stuff in just to be like, this is funny.
Have you seen what Joe's put in the chat?
I played Goldeneye with my friends at SunnyCon. I put proximity mines at every spawn point. Alright, so you were that guy.
That's the best guy to be. If you can't win with bullets, win with explodies.
We were talking about that, how the person who owned the game back in this time period like had a massive advantage because you could practice and like memorize everything.
Yeah.
I don't in the facility I know you did used to start, some person spawned in the toilet, but I don't think they went in the air vent. I think you were just like here.
Yeah, like where the picture is, sort of thing.
Yeah. But do you remember which character you used to pick for the multiplayer? If you had them all unlocked, I don't know how good your brother was at single player.
I was the one who used to do the single player stuff, so I would always be Trevelyan because I loved Sean Bean at the time because he was in this. He'd been in this football movie where he played for Sheffield United.
Right.
And it was great. It was class. I don't know whether I think he might have said bastard in that.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, I'd hope so. But yeah, because I liked Sean Bean as an actor, so I was like, I'll be Alex Trevelyan.
Yeah, I always picked Jaws, and Saturn in the chat's echoing that as well.
Yeah,
I think it was just because he was the most like fantastical James Bond character that I could really think of as a kid, because he was like, he had metal teeth and he was giant, but like in the movies he's not that cool. But
no,
in the game, and not having really seen many of the movies, although I think this game did make me ask my granddad about James Bond movies, and he definitely told me some tales and stuff. And they eventually came on because they used to put them on like the holidays, didn't they? Like one every night.
Yeah. Mind you would have thought I would have been Jaws on it because he's a giant man, but when I was 10 I wasn't giant.
No, and you were like, I'll never be giant.
Right. I didn't expect to be tall, so I never looked up to tall people. Ha ha ha.
That's a tall joke. But, Adam, hang on a bit. Shh, hush, wish. I think he's here. Oh, to get his ire. Oh, no. Don't make any sudden movements.
I can't look at him either, can I?
I mean, you can try not to. I think he's gone. He keeps coming through here. Like we're just trying to enjoy this toilet conversation on the toilet floor, and then suddenly Oddjob Crouch walks through here.
It's no good.
You can't get the podcast space these days.
No, he's been given free reign of the facility. Like that's what's happening.
He's got now to do with Goldeneye.
He's got now to do with it. What's he doing here?
I heard he just showed up on the character screen. They didn't even code him in. That's why he's smaller than everyone else.
That makes sense.
But yeah, we do need to talk about Mr. Oddjob.
Do we have to? He might come back if you talk about him.
Oh, it's all right, man. He's gone down to them rooms where the scientists are.
Them
big gas canisters.
I wouldn't let him near them. Go.
But because so Oddjob was a shorter character than everybody else, and I guess he's a guy in the movies who would throw his hat and it had a razor blade in, like Kung Lao.
Yes.
But yeah, so he was smaller than everybody else. So if you picked him in multiplayer and then crouched and walked around in a crouch position, the auto aim would have a hard time picking him up, because in this game it was very auto aim heavy, because I guess they didn't have anything. I guess Doom was auto aim. You just didn't really notice it much.
Yeah.
It was like you'd point in the general direction.
With the auto aim on this, if you noticed, like, obviously the hand was out like this, with sort of like, it would like move like that, wouldn't it? Instead of like your body, the gun would like sort of snap.
Yeah. It would like wiggle around.
Yeah.
So then like you could you might notice a bad guy's there before you saw them, like if they were like off in the distance, because your gun would be like it's like a little magnet. But yeah, so if somebody picked Oddjob and Crouch, they were almost invincible. I think I've got a weirdly grainy screenshot that I found online.
Oh.
So like, look how small he is, like, and that's him in a hallway. But yeah, it looks like the guy needs to reload as well. That's annoying. Yeah. Press B. But I don't know why this looks like a cursed CCTV screenshot of Oddjob creeping up to murder someone.
Look at those stains on the walls, man. There's some horrible things happening in those corridors.
I don't even know what level that is. I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think which one it is.
It might be the like Egyptian or like the Moonraker facility, possibly.
Full level.
But it could be the one that's like a weird temple, because it had like Baron Samedi in it, whoever he was. Saturn saying I used to always call Oddjob Stan Laurel when I was a fan. All right, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, there's definitely a resemblance there.
Yeah, he's got a gun. But yeah, like I'm gonna bring the screenshot back up, because when we say crouch walk, we mean slide along the floor in this position that you see on the screen right now. So it pretty much was just like this. Like, I'll tell you what, if I do this.
Oh no. No.
Oh no, there's two of them. This one can't be hit by conventional bullets. So yeah, it basically looked like this, and then you couldn't hit them, and then you hated whoever did it. And you probably never played with them again. Let's face it.
Nah, that was it. The end of that relationship, like I.
One thing that really hasn't aged well. I mean, there's a lot of things about this game that hasn't aged well. I've aged horribly. It's all the N64's fault.
Yeah, probably was, to be fair.
So, like, in this game, there was a lot of weapons you could pick up, because kids in the 90s, you were allowed more than 3 weapons per level. In this game, you could probably have about 30, depending on, like, which level you're on. Or, like, 100 if you put the all weapons cheat in. But, it's like one bad thing about it was if you were in multiplayer and had too many weapons, you had to like cycle through by pressing A, and it would be like clink, 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 like the next one. And then if you went past it, you'd be like,
oh man.
There was a tiny, like a weird button combo though. Like if you pressed B and A in the right order, it would go back.
Yeah.
But it was clunky. Oh god, I can show you an example. This was the controller we had to play with, kids.
Look at that perfection.
The Triton.
Look at it.
I mean, how else do you shoot a gun? You press this little trigger. But yeah.
Got some ASMR going on here.
But yeah, like, so in like in the multiplayer, you had to cycle through your weapons. In the single player though, you could jam your face into your watch and get a full list of all the weapons to pick from. Yeah, that was what he did. He actually saw the hand come up, and then it was like, oh, I'm going inside. But what you did get to hear was this awesome music, which hopefully will play out for everybody. Just imagine you're staring at a list of weapons.
In your watch.
Yes. Eyes pressed up against your digital watch, which was also a laser. Yes. And it also did set the mines off, I guess. But
True.
But you didn't have to go, like, that was my trick. That was my bread and butter. You didn't have to switch to your watch. You just pressed A and B at the same time. It would detonate the mines. Joe saying, I'm fairly sure this game made me want to get a kick-ass digital watch. But no watch is that cool, because no watch is a laser. Let's face it, guys. Come on, guys, seriously.
Yeah.
You could maybe get a laser pointer on your watch in like the 2000s.
Maybe. It would store phone numbers. He says he got one.
For all the, yeah. As a kid, there was so many stupid things that I wanted that would store phone numbers, and like I didn't have anybody to talk to. Oh. Like, why did I want a beeper?
Because it was cool.
I blame Grand Theft Auto for that, because you got your crime requests through on a little beeper. But yeah, like, do you remember having like a favorite like level or like moment from like the single player?
I love the cradle.
Oh yeah.
It was just insane.
It looked crazy, didn't it? Because like technically you were like up high off the ground.
Yeah.
But you were basically just on catwalk suspended in like blue sky.
Yeah. It was just like you were just so up high for all of that level, and it was just. I know the graphics weren't great to show you how high you were, but it was like I knew from the film how high the cradle was.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, oh god, if you fall off here, ooh.
Because like it's like the arm of a satellite dish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the part in the middle that like juts out. Because I guess the Goldeneye was like a space laser, but was it an EMP? Is that what was the story of the movie?
I think so. Something daft, because it was usually it's always about James Bond trying to get in some lass's pants, so you never really know, do you?
Yeah, like, but I think this was like, you know, your classic. It's gonna turn off all of the stock market, like,
oh, no.
Which would always seem to be like the biggest thing in the entire, like any kind of like action movie. It was like, oh, they're gonna set off this nuke in low orbit, and it's gonna turn off all the computers. Like, look out, everybody! Oh god, it had Boris as well.
Oh yeah,
the computer guy.
Oh god,
I am invincible.
I might have to rewatch Goldeneye.
Okay, Joe in the chat's helping us out. If you'd like to join the chat, audio listeners, I'm speaking directly to you. Come to the Twitch. He's saying it was a satellite that could launch an EMP anywhere from space. Sean Bean's plan was to rob a bank digitally and then erase the bank records. It seems quite quaint.
It was how very quaint.
The Bank of England, James.
Bastard bank. That's who I'm with.
Hey up. Hey up, what's wrong, cock? Oh man, not getting any interest on this Barclays account.
Bunch of bastards.
Well, why don't you join Bastard Bank then? Aye.
I think I will, like, if they got checkbooks and that, have they?
It's Sean Bean approved. He's on the checks.
He's on the notes as well.
It's just him like turning around, like getting a camera shot, like when he's not paying attention.
Joe, this is fast devolving into a shooting star sketch.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone we're slightly ripping off Vic and Bob with our comedy silence.
It's what we grew up on. So to be fair, it's gonna ooze out at some point, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Catholic.
For some reason, I thought you said cat sick for a second.
That cat sick just get.
Hilarious. It's a great equalizer.
Yep. Oh god.
Jesus.
Was I again? You just missed you there.
I know.
Was it with things trying to attack us on this podcast? I thought it was a safe place.
Oh no, I never promised anything about being a safe space. In fact, it's dangerous to get inside of the machine. You saw what happened to me on the 24-hour live stream.
Yes, I did.
24 hours in OBS will do weird things to you, man.
Infuse you with Sonic. That wasn't you, right, though? I think...
No.
It was like...
It's a common misconception, but if you watch back the video, you'll hear me say I brought a buddy of mine, like a ringer to like destroy Paul once and for all.
Yeah, like Triple H and his cop buddies, yeah.
Yeah, and then I stole the title off him when he, like in the back room afterwards, roughed him up when he was weakest from all the Chaos Emerald juice.
Yeah, I don't think people... I believe you. But I don't think people believe you that it wasn't you.
And that's why you're my co-host.
Yes.
My trusted advisor. Yeah, people have really got to start keeping up with the lore because we're getting into MCU Phase 2 territory. The end of Phase 1 was the appearance of Sonic.
Yeah.
And he collected all the Chaos Emeralds and destroyed Paul once and for all.
Uprising.
What?
What?
Back to Goldeneye.
Yeah, that was a close
My
one.
favorite level was the frigate, which is why I asked you to do the cover song,
Yes.
because it had kick-ass music. But when I was a kid, I used to play with cheats on constantly in every game that would allow me to, like Command and Conquer, Duke Nukem 3D, this. I'm trying to think of some of the good cheat ones. GTA, obviously.
Yes. Oh yeah. Aye.
Just type in "hang the DJ" on GTA on your.
Yeah.
Open up your PS1s, kids out there. Just name your character "Hang the DJ" in Grand Theft Auto 1, and you'll get loads of weapons. But you can't have infinite health because GTA doesn't go that way. But yeah, so I could. So
Saturn says big head mode on GTA.
It was actually called Donkey Kong mode in this game because Rare made Donkey Kong Country before this.
Yes.
So it was DK mode, and they had long gorilla arms as well as giant heads. And it would make the guns bigger as well to accommodate. And again, when you started the level, you got a horrible monkey man, Pierce Brosnan, that the camera spun round, and then you went inside his head. There's no way they would let you do that nowadays. You know, like when they like face capture people. So can you imagine like Pedro? It is Pedro Pascal, isn't it? No, he was in Last of Us. It would be, who's the Last of Us Joel voice actor?
What do you mean on the game?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I can't remember. But it would be like him.
Troy Baker.
Yeah, it'd be like Troy Baker sitting at home, and then like, oh, what's this funny like Donkey Kong mode? And then his character turns into a monster. And he's like, hang on a second. But this was with Hollywood actors. Like, you could turn Sean Bean into a Donkey Kong.
It's like some sort of like weird experiment, isn't it? Like, imagine that actually go through it.
And that poor Natalia woman, she got the short end of the stick. It should be her cat. She even spends like 2 levels inside a cage, like a gorilla.
Yes.
That was pretty fun though. Anyway, I need to explain my whole stupidly.
You don't have to explain anything, man.
But I want to because it's specific to me. So
it's about me.
The thing with the frigate was it was an enclosed level, and there was no time pressure or objective pressure to.
That's why you liked it, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you put invisibility on, which it isn't invincibility, it had separate like cheats for both. If you put invisibility on, the good characters wouldn't know you were there, and it wouldn't like some missions wouldn't complete. Like Alec Trevelyan would just be wandering around the facility room on his own, just he's supposed to be here by now. He just had to run out the door and fail the mission. I thought I heard James. But yeah, so the frigate was the one where you didn't need to talk to any good characters to move anything along. So you could just creep around as an invincible assassin and just shoot people in the butt, basically, and blow up all the computers.
Yes.
And the chairs that also exploded when you shot them.
Yes. I don't know why, but that was fun. I don't know why it happened, but
I suppose we weren't really in the Rare offices in like '96. Like maybe they did have exploding chairs.
Like, whoa, I've put them in the game.
But what was cool was like when we're talking about it had like rudimentary physics. You could like shoot the table until it exploded, and then it would like throw the monitors up in the air, like the computer monitors and the keyboard. And then if they would hit the floor, they would sometimes explode. So you could do like weird chain reactions.
Yes.
And things would blow up like 3 or 4 times and make a smaller cube, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was
like
weird,
if you kept shooting the monitor, it would blow up again and get like smaller.
Like probably start to implode. Like.
I guess so. I guess that's what they were going for. But yeah, I did love the facility as well, because it was so like long, and you had that whole weird thing with the scientists where
Yes.
you had to like save them, but obviously as kids we like bullied them a bit first.
Barged in and like end up shooting them at first, and then you're like, oh man, I have to do that again.
Or they do like this with the little no finger hands. And then you'd be like, shoot you. I'm just kidding. Get lost. You just maimed this guy for life. He can't do his science anymore.
Get out of here.
Also, there was that guard who looked like Hitler.
Yeah, I remember that so well.
He would show up sometimes and it was like, oh no. But like, I suppose if you're making a game in the 90s and you guys have like military uniforms on and they're evil, of course they're going to sneak a Hitler in there. At least he was always bad and we got to shoot him.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Like, it was never like it was a good guy. Imagine having that face and being a good guy.
Yeah, like, I'll tell you, talking about faces and good guys, freaking Robbie Coltrane was in this game as well.
Yeah.
Which marks 2 times that he's gotten a really, like, ugly looking render because he's in, like, the PS1 Harry Potter games as well. PS1 Hagrid's a classic.
Oh, he's the coolest.
But like, it was just so many weird actors when you think about it, just all shoved in a game. There's always those rumors as well that you could get like Sean Connery and stuff, but then I can't remember, was that a real thing, like a real cheat that you had to put in?
I don't know, because this is around the time when kids would start to spread rumors about games.
Yeah, or they would put it as like an April Fool's screenshot.
Yeah, like I remember I went to school with a lad, and it was about the time that SmackDown 2 was coming out.
All right, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm like one of my mate's brothers works for fucking THQ or whatever, or Ukes or whatever."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'll get you a free copy of the game." And I was like, "Can you? Like, can you?" And we just didn't believe him the whole way, and he kept on coming in and saying the same lie over and over again. And it's just like, why do people do this? Because like lying to me, I've never been able to do it because I've got that thing with autism where if I try and lie, I feel physically ill.
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't. Like, it sort of puts us in like a panic. It's horrible. So,
Yeah.
like, how people could lie about something like that big, because like that, he knew that game meant so much to us, like coming out.
Yeah.
And he just get, "Oh, I can get you a copy," and I'm like half believing him, and then when it came to, I knew it.
I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised he didn't like burn you a disc of like nothing, and then be like, like wrote SmackDown 2 on it, and they're like, "Oh, it worked in my PlayStation. Yours must be like the second run PlayStation."
Yeah, it doesn't work on yours, mate.
You're right though, because like we knew someone who was like, "Oh, I can get you." Like, for some reason, it was always wrestling or Pokemon were the biggest culprits for like fake rumors and shit.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I can get you like wrestlers' signatures if like we just post them a letter and then they'll send like their signature back." And we're like, "All right, cool. Like, I like get us like I'll have Kane's, and then like one of our other mates like picked like someone else." And then he comes in the next day and he's like, "Oh yeah, well I predicted that like you guys would want these wrestlers, so like I've already like got them back." And like, all he'd done was copied it out of the magazine, because you know you could get those like they would do like glamour shots, or like in the sticker books where it'd be like, and it would have like a white, it would have like a white like pen. Yeah, it would have like a white pen version of like, I mean, Kane was just like block capitals. But yeah, like, so that was a thing where he obviously couldn't wait, because we probably would have believed him if he'd waited like a few weeks and then brought them in, like, "Oh yeah, I wrote to Kane and they've sent signatures back." But he brought them in the next day because he obviously went home and traced them out, and then was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring them in and just say I predicted it." It's like, it was so stupid when you think back.
How How would you get them back that quickly?
Oh, well, you see, knew those were the ones we were going to pick. I never mentioned it before. But yeah, I don't know what was up with the school ground liars. If there's any in the the chats or the comments, like, tell us what's your problem. Who harmed you? Because yeah, like, I'm sure that kid was like, you were probably asking him like, oh, is your uncle who works at THQ, has he got the game yet? Like, oh no, he didn't come round this weekend, so yeah. Yeah,
literally the exact oh, he's really busy, like, working on the game, like, so.
He's got to colour in Stone Cold's boot.
He's modelling the middle finger on him, like. But yeah, it's.
But yeah, there was.
I would have thrown them off. Can you get me Doink the Clown?
I had no concept of Doink until friggin', I don't know, 2001 when he showed up at the Gimmick Battle Royal.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so what I'm saying is wrestling fans are the worst, and you can't trust any of them. Stone Cold was right.
Even though we were and still might be massive wrestling fans.
No comment. Everything I say is true. And if not, I'll edit it out of the show to make myself look even righter.
Yeah. I'll never be heard by anyone apart from people now.
But yeah, so like this game was a proper full package because you could play all of the single player levels, and then most of them would be multiplayer levels that you could free roam around and like obviously kill your friends. Or we would just wander about and rarely fight each other, but just like mess around with like the physics and see what doors we could get into and which ones were like shut. And then when you went back into single player, you could be like, oh, okay, I can open this door, but in multiplayer, this is where the level ends. And try and figure out some strategies about like, okay, well, if I hide here in this corner, then they have to walk past me. Yeah, and I'll shoot them in the back.
Yep, because I'm brave.
Or I'll get the golden gun, just be like, one shot.
Pow.
It was just like a box with like a pipe coming out of it.
Yeah, it was like a cigar box on it, and then like.
I mean, I think it was in the movie, wasn't it? But in the game, it just looked rubbish because it was just a square polygon.
Yeah.
Also, like, it's been mentioned in the chat before, but yeah, you could get the Moonraker laser gun as well and be like, zap. But that one actually was pretty cool because it would go through guys and doors and stuff, so you could just be like, drag them all into like a corridor and just like shoot lasers straight through guys, and they're like, whoa, yeah, because that's the thing we haven't talked about. They like used to do like death grunts when you were shooting them. They'd be like,
the sound design on this game was fantastic. It was very random and eccentric, like, but it was great.
Yeah, and can you imagine if they'd put stuff like that in like the Call of Duty games now, like when you're shooting guys? Or like, or remember when like if you'd snuck up on guys or you were just looking at them from the distance, like they would do little idle animations, like swat at a fly and then point the gun at it. And then that was the time to shoot them in the back of the head, nice and slow, like. And do you remember you could get like, if you did like the weapons cheat, you could get like horrible knives as well. And like, so there was, I guess there was a throwing knife and a hunting knife, where like the hunting knife was the close range and he would just swing the little blades around as if he was doing this. Yeah. And they'd be like, look at that.
Oh, Goodwill's on now. You have to put the music on.
Oh yeah, he's showing up late as always.
We'll give him a bit of time. I need to see him react to it before we turn it off.
Hang on a sec. Let's check the time. Doesn't make no sense if you haven't played the game. Hang on a sec. We got props. But of course this is the new one because there's no wire and where the control pack comes in. This was where you put the No Mercy control pack to save your guy from being deleted by a glitch. But I think they've just put a battery in here.
Yeah.
It's not fully accurate. Otherwise though, it feels pretty much the same. And I guess they've added this ZR button for some reason. I don't know why, because they won't let you play anything else that isn't a Switch game. They'll only let you play the N64 games that are on Switch. So it's not as if they'll let you play anything else with it.
Don't know.
It's alright, Goodwill. We don't actually mind that you showed up late. We just already talked about the pause menu in context.
Yes.
But yeah, so they're definitely obviously they went on to make Perfect Dark after this.
Yes.
Did you play much of that back in the day?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was one of my brother's friends who got me into that because he got it first.
Yeah.
And
can you explain a bit of that for people who never checked it out? Because I didn't personally buy it. I don't think I played it until it came out on the 360.
Yeah. Well, it was basically she was like a female James Bond, but in the future.
Yeah.
And it was all sort of like space age weapons.
Oh, okay.
Like weird alien weapons you would get. You get normal weapons, but there was some alien blasters and stuff like that. And you were fighting alien baddies, basically. There was actual people on it, but it was it was just a very futuristic version of Goldeneye.
Yeah. So that they'd taken stuff from Goldeneye and been okay, we've done realistic guns, so why not go into the future? Because I heard about some stuff like a laptop gun and stuff people always talk about. Was that a remote turret or something you could set up?
Yeah, it was a weird one. I never really understood how to use that one, but some of the weapons on it were crazy. There was obviously lasers stuff, but Goldeneye times 10.
Yeah, because I think there was some kind of scope where you could look through the walls as well and shoot people through the walls, which sounds crazy. People don't like it when you do that in multiplayer games.
They can't see it coming.
That's reserved for actual cheaters now. It's not. They don't usually put it in as a game mechanic.
Yeah.
Also, Goodwill's saying, as a poor northern family, I could only afford one console. My choice was the PS1, but I always wanted an N64 as it has charm to it.
It has all the charm. But
absolutely.
PS1 was also a good choice, so don't think otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. PS1. That felt like more of an adult console, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the N64 was we've talked about it, this game was pretty violent, but because it still looked a bit like stick puppets running around.
Didn't seem as menacing.
No. And there was no swearing. It was all text-based anyway. There was no voice acting.
But I can just imagine a young Goodwill sitting playing the first Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just imagining him. That's why he got his obsession with cars. I can imagine just
being this kid's a natural.
Yeah,
he's passing the driving test in Driver.
Yeah,
that's something I've always challenged Goodwill to load up Driver without any practice and do that test that they make you do at the start.
Oh God!
I want to know if you can do it.
I played the balls off Gran Turismo. See, I knew it.
They based that movie on Goodwill.
That could have been me.
Bunch of dumbass gamers trying to do real life driving. It's me. I'm the guy from Stranger Things. Look at me.
Look at me.
Hey, it turns out this one gamer driver's all right. He's on my team now. He probably wins the race. I haven't seen the movie, but it's a sports movie, so that's usually what happens.
They build your hope up. They make a bit where it's a bit sad, and then the hope goes back up.
Yeah, like a family member explodes or something, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, coach, I'm missing my coach for the one big game. I think we're just describing Rocky now, actually.
Yeah.
3.
Which is the premise for every sports movie.
Yeah. I mean, to link this together with GoldenEye driving games, when I was playing Destruction Derby, I would always do that cheat that gave you a tank. Because you could shoot the other drivers and they would all just fly up in the air and then you drive under them.
I'm honestly a pattern here, Jake. Are you like our universe's version of Mario because Wario, sorry, because you want to win?
Well, yeah, I don't want to work hard though.
Yeah, he wants to win but not work hard. Like
Yeah.
that should be everyone's goal in life, really.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder, like Wario.
Yes.
The 3 is a W for Wario.
Yes, we know.
Well, really? Because I had to draw it on over his fingers on the box art for Wario Land 3. But that's also because it was the 3rd game. Synergy.
Oh.
I need like a Wario puppet that can come on, like a real life puppet in the room with me. Not just a JPEG that I move around the screen.
Yeah.
In some crude.
Our budget will increase eventually. We're only on episode 4, man. Come on.
But yeah, I don't know. Like the crude JPEG puppets have their charm.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get Oddjob back though, because I think I saw him fly off the side of the screen. I mean, I could look for him behind the chat window, but I mean, no one else will see what I'm doing. Where are you?
Oh man, he's lost in the ether, like. Come back.
We'll cut that.
Cut that.
I can't get it back now. I'm just gonna drop it here. But yeah, like, is there anything else that like jumps out about GoldenEye? Like, is there any like crazy stories of multiplayer like wins that you had that you can remember?
Oh God, it's going back a while. Jesus.
I always remember like feeling really good when I could actually unlock a cheat, because in this game you had to finish a level in like a certain time to unlock the cheat. The easiest one was the Donkey Kong mode, which we've already talked about, because that was like, finish the runway in like, we'll say 5 minutes. And it was like about a 2-minute level if you just ran for it.
There's none that come to mind, but I always remember multiplayer the most. I know I used to play the like the campaign mode or whatever.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer with like all the cheats on, and just like, it's just insane. Like just explosions everywhere, and like,
yeah, because I think you could like turn like the ammo and stuff up. Maybe it had like quite a few options you could get in there.
Yeah.
Saturn saying Oddjob's gone to play Warzone on the N64.
Wow.
We actually didn't talk about Warzone when we did wrestling games.
Because I remember I had that for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, that was where I saw it. It was friggin' awful though, wasn't it?
It was in the ECW game.
Which was just a reskin of Warzone.
Yeah, but it had barbed wire and Sabu.
Okay. Sabu like glitches out like that in real life though, so that's the most accurate Sabu I think you could get. Yeah. Like, why did they think adding voice acting to like the wrestling games was a good idea? Where it'd be like rah rah rah, like when they win like submissions and stuff.
Yeah. So like they got them to actually like
They'd be like, "Help! It's me, Stone Cold. Help!"
Help me.
And like Mankind would be like, "Mommy."
It was a god awful game, but I loved it at the same time because it was like, I suppose it's a similar feeling to people when they like football games. Like it had the up to date roster of people on it.
Oh yeah, little Adam was really wanting to play Goldust versus Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
But yeah, like also yeah, like Saturn saying in the chat, they used to say like "owie." But yeah, and that one had like Street Fighter type moves, like or Mortal Kombat moves, where we like to do the Stone Cold Stunner, you've got to go up, left, right, up, square, or something.
Oh, it was
You'd be like, "Oh, please don't do this game."
I know. It'll be like the simplest move, like say like Mark Henry World Slam, like
Yeah.
all of the buttons and then triangle.
Yeah, and it would look awful and be over in like 1 second.
Yeah,
like,
it's
was
like
that it?
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, I'm glad I never bought that. I think something like my cousins had that. Oh my god, does Saturn remember a real one here? Up, down, left, left B, Tombstone Pile Driver.
Oh.
For Kane or Undertaker. Because I know Kane had his special like cross arms pin that he never really used in real life very much.
Yeah.
But in the games they were like, we've put it in. Now it's part of Kane history.
Taker. Bagoo. Before we started the Bagoo, isn't it?
Oh god, but yeah, so like Goldeneye was definitely one that I loved, but when I think back, I think most of my time was spent just exploring. It was kind of one of those like first, I mean obviously Mario 64 would have played first, but that had like, that was very much like you had a goal. It was like collect the star and you're gonna like jump and go crazy to get there. This one felt like you could like poke at the systems a lot more. Like you could go around and be like, I'm gonna shoot all of the glass windows out in this level and just see what happens. Like finishing the objectives was almost like secondary to me because it was like it was more interesting just to see how all of the game systems like interacted, and it was probably the first time we had like enemies that would just be going about the business until you showed up, and they would like notice you and like jump to actions because like you could stealth a bit if you were like careful.
But yeah, it's a weird one because I think that's the first game I remember of that time. Because I mean, was Metal Gear around at the same time for PS1?
It was a bit later, I think.
Later, yeah. Because so this was the first game where you could like sort of push the boundaries on what the system could actually do.
Yeah.
Because everything else before that was so linear and didn't really have any room for straying from the path sort of thing.
Or it would be because like people will say like, oh, like, you know, Doom was doing this kind of thing, but like in Doom and like Duke Nukem tried to push past it a little bit, like had a lot more like interactive elements in the level that weren't all to do with like shooting and stuff. But in Doom, as soon as you walk in a room with enemies, everyone's like facing you and attacking. But this was like, you know, you'd have your little group of enemies, but if there was people around the corner, they wouldn't necessarily hear what was happening unless like, you know, you shot bullets like in their direction. So like as a kid, just learning about games, it was like dead interesting. It definitely made me a bit disappointed when like Call of Duty and stuff rolled around, like trying to play those campaigns, and it's like, oh, it's kind of just like a shooting gallery, and there's no real reason to explore anything. Like I might as well just run, because that's the thing actually in Call of Duty. Don't they just respawn the enemies over and over again until you like push past a certain point?
I think so.
Whereas Goldeneye had a set number of enemies in most levels, so you could methodically like sneak around if you were good at headshots on your tiny like tiny television.
Yeah. I remember the tellies back then, like little ones we used to have in our bedrooms, where it was like
Oh
a
yeah,
cube.
14 inches was like the
Yeah.
max.
It was like this deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually with like a VHS built into it. Like, sort of,
I definitely had a separate one, but it wasn't a good VHS. Like I think you had to like hold the button down to like rewind things. Like it wouldn't
oh
even
yeah.
it wouldn't even set itself up.
I remember actually talking about VHS, and we're going to go back to wrestling here, like on help. But like, I remember like having this like set of specific VHS tapes that I would like record the wrestling on,
Oh yeah.
and nobody was allowed to touch them or overwrite it.
Don't
like, there
touch
was
Adam's secret tapes.
Yeah, so I remember that very well. God, when you look back, like these were times for us, wasn't it? It was Goldeneye, loads of class wrestling on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think
like
you were a bit later for the wrestling anyway. From then, because
yeah, probably. I don't think
you
I
were
was
like
yeah,
9 or something. Yeah.
I don't think I started watching wrestling until like Royal Rumble 2000 basically.
Yeah,
Not
that was
properly.
1992 for me.
Whoa. But yeah, like
crazy.
this was like a time of like figuring stuff out for video games, because I think this was around the time I was like reading video game magazines as well, and getting weird opinions in my head that weren't mine from these adult writers who just from in my mind just sat around playing video games in their office all day.
Oh, the dream.
But you know, like one time I remember trying to mail in a picture of a glitch in this game.
Oh.
Because we did something. We were messing around on like the underground bunker level, surface I think it's called, or whatever. And somehow we got it so that when you threw a mine, it would just stick in like midair. Like it wouldn't actually go forward. It would just like, as soon as anything left your hand, it would just be suspended in midair. And I thought this was newsworthy as a child, being like, so like I had my mom try and like help me take a photo of the screen with a camera that you had to go and then wait until it got developed. I think I had the photo, but I think by that time I didn't mail it to the magazine because I think I was like, it was already too much work to get the photo out.
Whereas now it would just be just bang, email.
But one day that photograph's gonna show up in some box somewhere of like of the remote mine, which is a very, very distinct design. I'll recognize it, even if I'm on my deathbed, and someone shows me it, I'll be like, "That's a remote mine from GoldenEye N64." Oh, my ulcers.
one last wish. Send it in to the magazine.
That's like friggin' Bilbo Baggins. Like, whatever happened to that screenshot of GoldenEye I took?
What, Jake? What?
I would like to see it again.
One last time.
So someone carries an N64 controller near my like hospital bed. This is what gives me all of my magical powers and keeps me alive. I need to be
keeps you youthful.
I need to be with an arm's length of an N64. I'm just gonna I'll waggle the joystick seductively. I'm pressing the Z button. You can't see me. I'm fondling the Z button. And that is why Paul lost the Great Sonic Race, because that's his most hated controller, is the N64 one.
I don't know how. For me, it was the perfect controller.
I've been through this. I think I went through this on the N64 like Bonanza stream I did, where I played like everything that was on the Switch, like with this. And I know why people didn't like it. It's because they were holding it wrong. for a start. So like people would think like they would be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, you hold it here, and I have to what? Waggle the stick like this? This makes no sense. And it's like, no, you hold this, and you waggle the stick, and you can shoot with the button underneath because it's like a gun trigger. Like, or you hold this to drive or something, or use your items in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And obviously there was the games where you would play it like this, and you often would not have the analog stick. Like we were talking about No Mercy. That was D-pad to move your guy around, quickly flick the stick to celebrate.
Yep.
And Z didn't do anything, I don't think. It maybe was used to like change who you were facing in like multiple man matches or something.
Yeah. I mean, it depended on the game, as you say. Like a
Yeah.
perfect controller, like you just had to learn how to use it correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that's come close to that controller is this.
Oh yeah, you're like an Xbox
Yeah.
one. I've got one of them. It's just out of reach.
Because the shape, it's good for me giant hands. I mean, it's still tiny in me hands. Look at it, like.
Yeah. Oh, see, Saturn's schooling us here saying Z was dodge. I never used dodge. The one where they were like,
aye.
But yeah, he's right. Left C was change opponent, and they would like swivel on a pivot and be like, yeah, you, special referee, I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
But yeah. So I just love the N64, and I think this game was a big part of it because it was just something like cozy. You could sit down and be like, I'm just gonna creep around the facility and enjoy the rockin' music.
Yeah, that's the thing. You didn't have to have a specific goal when you put it on, did you?
Not really.
It was like, it was just have a bit of a laugh.
And like I say, it was the kind of thing where like me and a friend would sit there and just explore the multiplayer levels, like, because there's only so much mileage you can get out of like killing each other, because one person's always gonna be best. So, but yeah, like it was definitely one of the big things that kept me like around in gaming. Because I think if it was just the Super Nintendo and I didn't get any other console, I don't think I would have like loved it as much. Like I think the N64 and Goldeneye was a big part of this. Like that's why I fell in love with gaming. I mean, I did really like Super Mario World and stuff, but I think like before this, like I didn't have very many games. Because it was like you had one or two. And then for the N64, like I say, I was reading magazines. I was like there for release dates in the shops. Like I knew when things were coming out. So it was just like, it was like the mind explosion. Like everything's here.
It was a lot more exciting. I mean, I had a few games before this for the N64. It was like a Formula 1 World Championship one. That was great.
Yeah.
And what else did I have?
I mean, like Mario Kart was also quite early on.
Did
you have Shadows of the Empire?
No.
I didn't. No, I had Rogue Squadron. I didn't play the first Star Wars game.
No, I remember my brother's friends had them. I'd played them at their house, but not us having it. But after that, I remember like it was like FIFA came out, like Road to the World Cup '98.
FIFA 64 was awesome. You could do like really fast slide tackles.
And
it was very arcadey.
So this and the other biggest one for me, which I'm no doubt we'll do at some point, Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
And do you remember Turok as well?
I do, but I don't think I liked Turok very much.
Yeah, I felt like I had to like it, but I didn't like it.
Like people say good things about Turok 2.
Yeah.
I would more like read about Turok in magazines and be like, Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Yes, I'm reading the review. I'll never play it.
So here's a question. When we do end up doing a Killer Instinct episode, which song should I cover?
I mean, I kind of just like The Instinct, that song. But I don't know if Mick Gordon's done it too well to be covered.
What are you talking to?
Exactly. There's always that. Is it full gore
Oh yes,
or is it?
Mind Gordon did that too well as well. I think.
Or is it? It's maybe in the other one. Our friend Duffy did it, like Cinder maybe or something like that. I don't know. It's the one that's like, it's the one with like the choir in it and stuff. I mean, a lot of it sounds like Goldeneye music if we're honest, because it's the same bunch of guys.
Spinal's theme.
Spinal, the pirate, the pirate skeleton.
There's many.
I think Killer Instinct might be a fun one to like actually play.
Yes.
If because it's not one that I had, like, but I saw a lot about it, and I think I played it like on the Rare Replay stuff after the fact. But that's an interesting story where it was gonna come out on the Ultra 64 before they changed the name to the Nintendo 64. So that's why they have like Ultra Combo and stuff and some talk like words like that. But yeah, we definitely have way more fighting game ground to tread, as I think we've talked.
Oh, Goodwill. What game from the PSX would you have loved to see on the N64?
Let's see. I mean, I suppose as a kid, I would have liked to have seen an N64 version of Metal Gear Solid, but now with my adult brain, I'm like, well, they couldn't have put all of the movie and the voice acting stuff on it. It would have been terrible. It would have been like like the whole time. Oh no, I friggin' hate Croc Legend of the Gobos. That's an awful game. I've played that on stream before.
Look, Smithers, Garbo is coming.
you can go back in the archives of the Gaming Up North and see my PlayStation 1 what would I call it? The trip down PlayStation memory card lane. Because I'm good at titles, It just rolls off the tongue. Actually, Saturn in the chat's got a good point. Like the Disney's Hercules probably would have made a good N64 game. I feel like it could have been a bit snappier if they'd took out some of the voice acting and kind of tightened up because that was trying to do a lot of 3D digital graphic-y CD magic.
That is the tough thing about changing something to N64, because you think like with the PlayStation's disc, like it was so much easier, like obviously for them to have like a very comprehensive like story mode in games.
Yeah, and have like voice acting and stuff.
Yeah, with a cartridge, like it's just just square men. Like
well, we had Conker's Bad Fur Day, which had a lot of voice acting.
Yeah.
But I don't know what magic compression demon they made a deal with to fit all those. Whatever, would they have even been MP3s at the time? What kind of files were they even using?
Oh God.
But yeah, like it sounded like all the development team had just recorded it themselves because it was all like sort of Midlands accents and stuff like that.
Oh no.
I don't know if we could do a full Conker's Bad Fur Day episode, but maybe if we hit like Banjo Kazooie and stuff like that, we can
we can like tie it in.
We can roll all that into one. But yeah, I was thinking something set me off today. I was in a charity shop and they had an N7 hoodie in the charity shop.
Nice.
So I don't know, maybe we should commit to hitting Mass Effect next.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got nothing to do with GoldenEye, but these episodes do not have to link together at all.
Do not. So that begs the question. I already have a Mass Effect theme.
Yeah.
But
he says
I know I can do better.
So, yeah, I think you would have to like do like a new version of that. Because you've got new skills now. But yeah, and this is Goodwill on the air, off the air, confirming that he's gonna do a guest appearance. The captain himself, the first human Spectre of Nerdy Up North.
That'd be great to have him as a guest on that.
Yeah, we'll have you on Goodwill. And
him are massive Mass Effect nerds, like, so.
I know, so is Sarah Peach in the group, but hopefully she'll think we do the trilogy justice.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Adam, I'll never force you to do a cover. So only if you've got time, if you want to do a Mass Effect cover.
You know me, I'll go, I'm going to do a cover, and then I'll send you the next day.
Yeah. That's how I get all my music. And like I say, we will do an album. We've almost got enough tracks.
Yeah.
If you take into account all of the covers you've done for like Elden Ring and Command and Conquer and stuff that I've made you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that way, he didn't make me, he asked me and I said yes, so you know, it's
Yeah. And like Saturn saying I would take part in the fighting game episode. It's definitely something we could look to do, like more guest episodes in the future.
Yeah.
Like I think what we're gonna do is hit specific fighting games for a while though, because I think we could talk a whole episode about Tekken at some point.
Oh yeah, and Street Fighter.
Yes.
Well.
The fighting streets. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any more Goldeneye memories you wanna shoot out here before we wrap it up?
Not really with the gameplay as such, more the music.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was well into music before that. Because I started remembering listening to like the likes of Metallica and Van Halen when I was like thing, so I already had like a good taste in music to me anyway. And then hearing something like this in a game for the first time, when you're like, whoa, I didn't know music like this existed. Like,
yeah,
it's like sort of MIDI, but not MIDI at the same time. And like,
yeah, it's close enough to real instruments, like that you can, like, you know which ones are the guitars immediately. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it did have distorted guitar on the first track.
Yeah.
Very crunchy as well. I always liked the sound of that.
Crunchy.
It wasn't something that existed outside of this game. It was like, it must have been something they did with the compression that just hit the distortions like right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, like, because it was the James Bond movies have music almost nothing like this.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a totally original like construction and idea.
Yeah.
But you're right though, this like set me on a path where I was thinking more about music, and I was getting stuff stuck in my head from games and thinking like, these guys have put like thought into these tracks. Because I think when you play like Mario and stuff, you're like, this is the Mario tune, but you don't think about a guy sitting and probably playing it on piano, you know, before it gets turned into the game.
Yeah. It is a weird one, as I say. This, I think, this set the path for like a lot of games with that ended up having real music in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like these will get stuck in my head all the time, and obviously listen to them like you can now, like on YouTube or whatever you want. It will stuck in my head like all day.
Yeah.
Like
and you had to just, like, if you wanted to hear the facility like theme, you had to just go and play the level. There was no way to hear it otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, it always made you like excited to go back, just the thought of hearing the tune.
Yeah,
and
like
all the tunes fitted the level they were for.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Like they were tailored to like the vibe. Like if it was gonna be a more like quiet and sneaky mission, it would have more like sort of xylophony bits, like, you know, like, or it would be like quieter. But yeah, like the facility I can always remember because it starts off with that friggin' like beat where it's just like a dun 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 dun. It's not even guitar, I don't think. It's just like a weird industrial noise.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like metal sounds and stuff.
Yeah, like things getting clanged about and like,
yeah.
it's great. But yeah, that was
absolutely. Like shout outs to, I think it was like Grant Kirkhope and like Robin Beanland who did a lot of the Killer Instinct, like Rare, like Donkey Kong stuff. Like they definitely had a massive impact on just my musical brain. And yeah, thank you to them, because like we're both musicians in some rights, and I feel like having these songs on repeat in our head definitely taught us some stuff subconsciously.
Definitely did.
Definitely there's plenty of drum beats in here.
Yeah.
That are easily stealable.
And they're like quite metal as well, some of the beats, aren't they? It's like
oh yeah, but like I think people didn't realize, like if you haven't played like metal music, you probably don't realize that the very first song you hear in this game, like the Dam, just has double bass pedal going behind it. It's like that guitar riff where it's like dun, 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 and it's like like in between it, and you're like, oh yes, and then it goes into that like halftime beat where it's like like back into the James Bond. It's like absolutely sick. Like they put so much love and care into the music, and they probably weren't like Saturn saying that they didn't get enough credit back in the day. And it's like, yeah, they probably didn't get enough credit for all this like awesome music, because it never came out on CD. But if it did, I would have bought it.
Oh god, definitely. Like it would have been like first on the list.
Can you imagine just like making your parents play this tape in the car?
Hey man, put me tape on.
Why is it all metal covers like vaguely James Bond?
Exactly what it is.
Because I think every song had like the James Bond like sort of chords in them.
Well, yeah, what you hear with the cover I did as well. Like obviously, got like the orchestral hit of the James Bond thing. That's like the chromatic, which is funny because this came. I mean, obviously the James Bond music's been out forever, but like you hear bands like Megadeth and Metallica use chord progressions.
Yes.
Like in like the late 80s and like early 90s, like when you think of like Megadeth for like Hangar 18, like that.
Yeah, as soon as you said Megadeth, I was like, yeah, that part where it's like dun dun dun, like that's like almost Hangar 18 kind of chord progression, how it goes up and
like chromatic and then goes back.
Yeah,
but the bass plays the same root note sort of thing. It's weird, but it works.
True.
I do it a lot in my music as well.
Yeah, and definitely like the Frigate track that I had you cover is definitely like riffing on We Care a Lot by Faith No More. Because it's got like the same bass, but it's just a bit faster.
Yeah.
But you got to know those guys were like, yeah, let's put this in an homage. And to be honest, like Mike Patton's a big gamer, so he might have even played it and been like, I see what you guys did. But nowadays they would just sue. Because there's all that metal music in like Doom and Doom 2.
Yeah.
Like there's just tracks that are just straight up like Alice in Chains songs. like there's a MIDI version of them Bones in there where it's just like blah 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 blah. And yeah, nowadays like the algorithm would friggin' pick that up. We might even get picked up for having the Goldeneye pause music show up during the podcast.
Well, hopefully not.
I don't know, because Vince came for us the other week, didn't he?
With the N64 wrestling game episode.
Yeah, if you go back and watch the wrestling game episode on YouTube, there's 15 seconds that we had to cut out, like that YouTube made us cut out. And I'll audio describe it for you. It's Shawn Michaels getting angle slammed off the top turnbuckle. He's in his white trousers. But yeah, we got copyright struck for something called like HBK_part 35.WMV. So whoever owns that.
Shawn Michaels himself, probably. He's like, I had hair in that clip. God damn it.
You're Vince, you gotta make him take it down. I'm not wearing my hunting cap.
Oh,
My
speaking
sponsor.
of wrestling things, totally unrelated. I was at work last night and we were having a laugh at work, and I did the best Ric Flair woo I've ever done in my life, and it was in a massive warehouse, so it just fucking echoed everywhere. It was amazing, and like,
As far as I'm concerned, that's now your gimmick, and you can have the woo from Ric Flair because he's done bad things and you can't have it
he
anymore.
has, you can't have it. I'll take it away. But I can only do it when I'm doing it really loud, so I would literally deafen everyone if I.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my voice can't get high enough when I'm just at this volume, so I have to be like through the roof.
Yeah. I think that's a good threat for everyone, like, to end this on. Like, if you step out of line, Adam will woo so loud that he deafens all of you.
Break my microphone, just kidding.
He's gonna do it. Oh, people are requesting an ooh yeah, dig it from you in a Macho Man styling.
Wait a minute. Let's see if I can get the gravel.
Me, my momo, me.
Ooh. So I've got to do. Oh yeah.
He wants the dig it as well.
Oh yeah, dig it.
I like it. Dig it. Oh, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we did talk about how Macho Man missed all the video games of this era.
Yeah.
It's a travesty it was.
What a shame.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun talking about Goldeneye.
It was.
Like I said, game like really near and dear to my heart. And I don't think could exist at any other time in gaming. Because it's not like it doesn't hold up so good. And then like, but before that, maybe like we didn't have the tech. It was just like a perfect storm of like everything coming together. How they got the GoldenEye license. There's probably a story out there, but it just seems like a weird thing. But I'm absolutely glad that they did.
Yes, I'm glad they did because it shaped the way I gamed, I think.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of the ones that's in my hall of fame for games like.
And like PC gamers will always like go back to Doom and stuff, and like that's legit. Like that was like the first one, and I think PC gamers at the time hated GoldenEye because it seemed so backwards and like rudimentary.
Yeah.
But like this and Halo really gave people a taste of like shooters and basically made them what they are today. Because we didn't really touch on it, but after this, like loads of James Bond games came out, and then loads more shooters and like time splitters and stuff like that.
Like, the world is not enough and stuff like that.
But just I think it just gave everyone the idea of like, all right, we can do first-person shooters on consoles now, and it took them a while to figure out the controls. Like, you know, it was a bit fiddly. But yeah, we got there, and then we had Call of Duty, and then multiplayer came back on the scene.
Yeah. Local multiplayer before.
Yeah, Halo had plenty of like was like spiritual successor to like GoldenEye for local stuff.
Yeah.
Then Call of Duty.
Used to play that, didn't we? So.
Yeah, and then Call of Duty was just like, how about we take this online and everyone gets their own screen, no more sharing a quadrant.
What Saturn said, Medal of Honor as well. Like Perfect Dark World is not enough. Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor, man. Totally forget those games existed because they went out with not a bang. I don't think we'll do a Medal of Honor episode because
I don't think I'll be. No,
I don't think I finished any one of those games or played them for more than like 3 hours. But yeah, we're gonna say goodbye from the Ramblecast again. I've been Jake of Nerdy Up North. I do podcasts and streams and stuff. Recently did a WarioWare stream, the new WarioWare Move It, which was pretty fun. And there's lots of silly motion control gimmicks. And it was my birthday. And we had fun on that stream, and lots of people got me gift subs, which was very nice of them. But yeah, you'll see me on podcasts and stuff and things and stuff and things.
And stuff and things.
I think I'm on a Nerdy Up North podcast this Sunday, possibly. It might be Batman and Robin this Sunday.
Ooh.
Which is going to be fun.
Yeah.
If it's not, it doesn't matter. Because I'm sure you'll see it on the schedule anyway. Yeah. You don't need me to tell you. No. But Adam, Lee's confirming it. Yes, it is a Batman and Robin Me on Sunday podcast. But Adam, where can the fine folks find you?
They can find me on TikTok at Adam Guitarman, on Instagram, same Adam Guitarman. Oh, sorry, not Adam Guitarman. It's Adam Ashbridge Music now. I've changed them.
Sorry. Strike that. Reverse it.
Cut that. So TikTok, Adam Ashbridge Music. Instagram, Adam Ashbridge Music, and also I'll have a Facebook page, which I've neglected a bit since I brought it out again recently. But
yeah,
I will go back and do some housekeeping on it. But that's Adam Ashbridge also. And yeah, that's the only places I use at the moment because it gets us the most views.
Yeah, social media is weird. Sometimes I forget it exists. Other times I sit and look at metrics and numbers. I don't know if it actually means anything.
And obviously a lot of people do know, but some people might not in the chat. I do all of the music for Nerdy Up North, the whole thing.
Yep.
Every one of the shows has my music on it.
Yep. And we will do an album, as in put out an album of a collection of everything one day. Yes. And, but yeah, so that's been Goldeneye 64. Join us next week, as long as all the schedules line up and we can get Captain Goodwill for a Mass Effect trilogy Ramblecast. But yeah,
should be fun. Thanks
everyone for joining, listening. Any support is always massively appreciated. The audio version of this will go up a week after, once I've had time to edit it. So watching the streams is how you see things first. But thank you to our audio listeners as well. Like I say, I'll edit this for those guys and for anyone else who wants to catch up on stuff they missed. The edited version is much better for listening. I'll cut out all of the guff and the visual gags. But yeah, thank you all so much. We're going to say bye-bye now, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And now I'll look for someone to raid, because why not get our name out there just a little bit. I'll tell you what, we'll go with the natural ones. I know some of these guys who do D&D will pop over there. But yeah, thanks everyone who's joined in live and stuff. Always massively appreciated.
Yes.
Oh, and we'll see you on some other Nerdy Up North thing in the future, I'm sure.
Goodbye.